Good morning. Feel free to say hello in the chat. For today's KR Daily Transmission, we're going to be taking your questions live. I've got two questions that my team already selected that we're going to start out with. Good morning, Jade. So much fun to see the chat blowing up, and everyone feel free to introduce yourself, to say hello to each other. Where are you watching live? How are you feeling this morning? It's so great to see everyone. Good morning, Victoria. Victoria's writing in, good morning, lovely Kaia. Thank you for your selfless service. Victoria, it's my joy to be here with you and everyone in our beautiful Sophia Code community. Lark is writing in, I was just listening to your transmission from yesterday with such deep appreciation for you being with us daily. Oh, thank you, Lark. I'm so happy to be here with you. Bonjour from France. It looks like Kayla from France, Suzanne from Switzerland. Cheryl is tuning in live from Ontario. Sylvie is watching from Quebec, Canada. How blessed are we that we have found our beautiful soul family from around the world, and that we get to be together every morning here at 8 a.m. Pacific on YouTube Live. It's so good to see everyone. Thanks for introducing yourself. This is the KR Daily Transmission. My name is Kaia Ra. I am the author of the Sophia Code. If you're just tuning in live for the first time, finding our channel, lots of people are learning about this work for the first time. I want to extend my warm welcome to you. I'm about to head out to the gym, fess my yoga clothes and my funny looking sweatshirt and my messy hair and my half closed eyes. But besides all of that, I'm lit up from the inside, even if my eyes might not be fully open. And I'm here to take your questions today. Fridays for the KR Daily Transmission is Q&A. And you can email us your questions at contact@kaiara.com. My team angels keep a file, a running list of all of the questions that we receive from YouTube and Instagram, and of course from our inbox. And we'll often try to compile questions that are very similar so that we're answering the questions in a way that they reach the most people and are of the highest service. So I've got two questions that I've been texted here on my phone and from my team. So I'm going to go into those questions and then I'll take one question live. So how you feeling out there? If you'd like to just share any thoughts or reflections as we answer today's live. I love reading your thoughts and reflections when I can. So okay, before we begin, I just want us to take a moment to create the inner space to receive the answers, right? In yesterday's live, excuse me, it's a little echoey in here. Still haven't fully moved into this space, so we're still waiting on some furniture. But yesterday's live, we had talked about this stillness, tuning into the womb of the Divine Mother, tuning into the stillness that is actually required to hear our divine guidance, to receive the light, the information carried upon the light of your higher self's consciousness within your body, heart, and mind. It requires a stillness to tune into that light, to be willing to listen to that light, and to be willing to receive the healing of your soul's light within you. Excuse me. So we are going to just take a moment to call in our circle of empowerment. Feel free to like this video as you're watching it too. That's really helpful for us with the algorithms and reaching as many people as we can with this free ministry. So visualizing that, a beautiful circle of empowerment around you. And we visualize this as a circle of light for those who are new to our channel. It can be any color of light. So, we have some interesting purple mixing in with the flames here of the fireplace and that violet flame energy. So I'm going to go ahead in the spirit of today's set and around me visualize a violet flame, a circle of empowerment with a beautiful violet white light. But whatever comes to you is perfect for you today. And within the center of your circle, I invite you to take 3 deep breaths within your heart. Dropping into your body, dropping into the gift that your heart is for this world, quieting your mind. And you may even feel your head start to, almost like an emotion of prayer, drop forward into your heart. This is the body's way of signaling to you, oh, the mind is becoming quiet so it can become in service to the heart. And Mother Mary teaches us in the Sophia Code that the mind was designed to be in service to the heart, not the other way around. So as we come to the stillness within our circle of empowerment, we become far more conscious of the divine light that is within us, as well as the stillness that is possible to access within. We also welcome our 8 revealed key codes of the Sophia Dragon Tribe to stand in spiritual protection and guidance around our circle of empowerment. Excuse me. And I welcome Ascended Master Isis in the northeast. I welcome Hathor in the east. In the southeast, we welcome Green Tara, Umtari, Tutari, Tori, Soha. In the south, we welcome beloved Mother Mary. In the southwest, we welcome Mary Magdalene, Jesus, Saint Joan of Arc, and the entire order of Magdalena. In the west, we welcome beloved Kuan Yin and Mahavatar Babaji. And in the northwest, we welcome the Sophia Dragons. And in the north, standing with the Sky Grandmothers and the White Buffalo Star Nation, we welcome White Buffalo Woman in all of her glory. In the center of that circle of empowerment, though, it's just you. We also welcome your guardian angels and your guides to join you around that circle. But within that circle, it's just you, it's your body, heart, and mind, and it's the power and the holy light of your Holy Spirit, your own higher self flowing through you, radiating out from the inside out, as well as flowing down into this planet and manifesting your body. Your higher self is manifesting that holographic reality of your body here into this world for us to love and enjoy and celebrate. And I am celebrating you this morning. I'm celebrating the sovereign divine being that you are, having a heroic, and I mean heroic human experience, because this is the time for heroes. And we're all heroes for navigating these extraordinary circumstances on the planet and in the heart of humanity, which perfectly leads us from that contemplative space, from that, sitting in our seat, owning our power, claiming the sacred sovereign space of our bodies. We're going to open up to receiving some reflections regarding these questions coming through. If you want to share what color your circle of empowerment looks like this morning, the color of light, feel free to share it in the chat or in the video replay. It's really fun to read your comments. Kristen is writing in, I had an epiphany this morning. I activated my angel wings a few weeks ago. And since then, the fibromyalgia, I can't even say that word this morning, not enough coffee. The pain that I have suffered from that was centered behind both shoulder blades has disappeared. Jen's writing in, Kristen, that's amazing. And I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, Kristen. That's huge. Kristen is referring to the Activate Your Angel Wings activation that's on my website under spiritual tools. So under spiritual tools, we have Keycode initiations, we have the higher self activations, we have curriculums, we have altar cards, we have the spiritual jewelry, and everything that we offer is designed for your sovereign empowerment. So thank you for sharing. It's one of my favorite higher self activations is when you unfurl the spiritual technology of your etheric angel wings out from the back of your heart chakra. And this can have significant impact on how you feel in your body. So it's really cool. And I'm totally celebrating you, Kristen, to read your reflections and hear that feedback. Mallory's writing in that she has white flames in her circle of empowerment this morning. Kelly is sharing pink and iridescent white. Fluffy Fractal is writing in pink, light. Amanda is magenta. Pam's sharing she's got a purple circle of empowerment this morning. Stress Less Mama is running in that she's golden with her circle of empowerment. And it's just so beautiful to read how, you know, this is really psychic. I hope everyone understands that if you are intuitively seeing the color of that circle of empowerment around you, your third eye is open and it's working, it's functioning. Good morning, Sophia. Would you like to say hello? Sophia is saying hello. Can you say hello? Oh, it's fun. It's Fun Friday. Yeah. You feeling everybody on the live? You feeling it? Yeah, she's feeling it. Oh, it's nice that she wants to be here with us. Oh, all right. So our first question for today, for Friday's Q&A is, how can we transmute fear into love during these turbulent times on the planet? Sophia, what are your thoughts on this? So, let's see. How can we transmute fear into love during these turbulent times on the planet? Did you know? Oh, that's a good answer. Oh, yes. So, okay, we're done. Sounds good. Sophia made her appearance, everyone. Round of applause. So, okay, first of all, you are transmuting fear into love through your daily embodiment. Bottom line, when you walk through the Sophia code in section 2 and you activate your divine genome, you choose to consciously embody more and more of the crystalline light of your higher self. You choose to mentor with the Ascended Masters to become aware of your spiritual gifts and your intuition. You choose to live in your highest potential, whatever that highest potential is for that day. Every day that you are walking as a conscious divine being in this world, you are transmuting fear into love just by breathing, let alone all of the kindnesses, all of the goodness that's pouring out of your heart, all of your prayers, your meditations, your willingness to be here and to be a person of joy and thoughtfulness and generosity and kindness, especially when the world doesn't understand or even attacks you for that service. Like, the way we transmute fear into love is by not giving into fear and choosing to embody our love to the best of our ability. Of course, we've got to have a sense of humor about this because there's an extraordinary amount of fear and anxiety and weird behavior, and people are acting like really, really crazy right now. And you know, this is why we talk about self-love over and over and over again, because if you can love yourself through how crazy this world is right now, how much society has gone off the rails, and how much we're longing to return to something so much brighter, you know, you're a part of that return. Okay. Sophia is doing something she shouldn't, so I'm like calculating if I should, what I should do about that. Anyways, maybe we could have a team angel come and show Sophia another part of the studio here that would be better for her. Sending that vibe out. Yeah, it's not really what we do right now when we have all these people live. Did you know that? Oh, it's very entertaining for you. I believe it. So you showing up and being you is the transmutation of fear, and the return to love that we need in this world. And please don't ever underestimate And a lot of earth angels and light workers do this, where they truly underestimate the depth of what their own soul's light brings into this world. But the more that you practice self-love, the more that you appreciate everything that you're bringing into this world through your higher self embodiment, it's like you start to abide in a sanctuary of faith and self-acceptance that radiates out from you. It's really easy to pick up when you just bring her upstairs. Thank you. Sophia's cameo. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that sanctuary that you create a sanctuary through your light, through your daily embodiment, through every kindness and grace that you offer this world. And that makes a huge difference, you know, in the collective field, and choosing to stay focused upon what you know is true. What you know is true is your divine light. What you know is true is your sovereignty. What you know is true from the teachings of the Sophia Code is that the more you bask in that self-knowledge and that self-knowing, that the more you're aligning with a sovereign reality and opportunities that keep you in a paradigm based in divine love, with opportunities flowing to you that are full of divine love. Look, I'm living in the same world that everyone else is, but I know for a fact that the world I live in is incredibly guided, blessed, and filled with divine love. Why is that? Am I more special than someone? Absolutely not. It's because that's what I focus on every day. It's what I choose to create in my life. And because that's what I am constantly focusing on, and constantly asking my own heart to keep stepping up to that reality, it creates a sanctuary of a reality for those who are close to me, those who I work with, those that I'm serving. It's created an international movement. This is how we transmute fear into love. It's by focusing on our divine purpose and serving it with all of our hearts, we create what I like to call God's country, a sovereign paradigm, a resonance that we can build upon physically in this world. So I hope that answers that question. I'm going to read the comment feed and make sure that I'm, getting all the points that are helpful for you. Let's see. Yeah, Jody's writing in, I'm a singer and a songwriter, and when I've sung, people have burst into tears for real. They have told me how I sound like an angel. There we go. It's like you are allowing yourself to be seen as an angel, and the ministrations of grace that pour forth through you. That's a transmutation of love, of fear into love. Someone else is writing, I always wonder who actually sees and feels the depths of my divine love and joy. Okay, so when we are offering our divine love and joy, it's not about who sees it or feels it or reacts to it. If we are embodying that through a sovereign context, we trust and know that the waves of light and divine love that are going out from us are not just impacting the people who recognize it, but most importantly, it's making an impact on the quantum field on the people that won't recognize it or don't see it consciously, but they can feel the blessing of your love and your embodiment on an unconscious level. It's we're serving from a space of full body empowerment, where we understand that our service is a reflection of how invincible and overflowing our light actually can be in this world. It's really great to read your comment. Thank you. It's offering us a great reflection. I can't pronounce that name, but it says, thank you for this emotional moment. It's my pleasure to be here with you. It's an honor. Let's see. Annie is writing in, my family triggers, where does it say? My family triggers me regarding the current medical mandates, and they think I'm crazy. Please send me encouraging vibes so I can stop getting angry when they poke at me. Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that. It's so relevant to the issues that we're talking about. It's important to understand that in true unconditional love, we can agree to disagree. You don't have to have the same beliefs as other people to love them, and they don't have to necessarily have the same beliefs as you to love you. Now, how other people love you is their choice, but how we love others is our choice. That's the only thing we have control over. So, one of the most heartbreaking things of the past 2 years is witnessing how families, friends, coworkers, colleagues, allies have been torn apart by this incredibly strong and very prepared narrative of mandates and control and fear that are causing people to, make people decide things that we've never ever done that to one another. Do we understand that? We've never forced relationships into these kind of rock on a hard place situation where if you don't do this, then I can't be around you. That is not love. That's not even sane, especially given that, whatever happened to like the sovereignty of our bodies and the intuitive choices that are right for each individual regarding their bodies. So when these dynamics come up, this is the ultimate opportunity to unplug from the narrative, from the fear, and even unplug from the anger. Because the anger, actually, when somebody is trying to make you wrong, and you can feel anger, but if you stay in a place of resentment, which is hardened anger over it, it's important to understand that that's just giving the situation more power. As soon as we can step into a place of forgiveness and unconditional love, even with all of our feelings about it, we're unplugging from the power struggle. We're saying, you know what? I don't love the way you're loving me right now. I choose sovereign love. I choose unconditional divine love. I'm going to choose to love me for my choices, and I'm going to keep loving you with all of your choices, because I don't base my love on what you decide to do with your body. That's real love. So if someone is not practicing that kind of love, then you understand that's a form of codependency, and they're trying to get you to grapple with them and stay in that in that struggle with them. But we don't have to struggle for unconditional love. It flows freely. And we don't have to struggle for a paradigm that's already ours, which is, our sovereign liberation already exists within us. And some people are going to take longer to discover that liberation within themselves than others. If you know that you're on the forefront of your spiritual awakening, part of spiritual maturity is knowing not everybody's going to be able to keep up with you. And that it's important to allow people their own process of where they're at in their spiritual journey. If that includes a lot of fear mongering, anxiety, and perpetuating of more anxiety in others, like that's where they're at in their spiritual journey. Are we going to judge them for that? Or are we going to stay focused on what's important to us? I know that can feel challenging, but it's how we have to pivot to stay in our empowerment. So I hope this is helpful. And if you have any thoughts about this, feel free to, write it in the chat or in the video replay. So good to see everyone. So, okay, the final question I'm going to answer is, what are some good ways to resource your higher self in order to respond instead of react? That's a great question. I love this question. So, and let's also be really careful in the video chat that as we're dialoguing with one another, that we're not prescribing or telling people what they are or aren't, because we're just having a dialogue based on our reflections of one another, or our reflections of ourselves. So let's, be easy on one another in there, because that's the energy that I want for this daily transmission, is that we're really open and we're reflecting on ourselves and not pointing fingers or trying to prescribe anything for anyone else. Okay. Everyone's exactly where they're at in their journey. So, what are some good ways to resource your higher self in order to respond instead of react? All right. There are going to be moments, I just want to be very authentic and real with you, that there are going to be moments where you react. That's going to happen. So I think the first tool to offer here is that what happens when we react, when we're not in our highest potential of how we could respond? The first thing you can do is say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I just got triggered. I want to come clean about that. And then the next step would be, the reason why I reacted is because I feel this way, not about the other person making you feel this way, sharing about how you feel a certain way. I talk a lot about this in the Soul Power Journey curriculum, which is available on my website at kaira.com. There's this understanding that when we can only ever take 100% responsibility for our own experience. And when you're working with the Sophia Code teachings, you're learning how to take responsibility, not just for the human experience, but for the understanding that there's a sovereign divine light that's pouring through you at all times, that you have access to, that you can learn how to integrate and operate from. So our mystery school students understand that they're not just navigating how to be compassionate through the human context, they're learning how to respond through the higher self context. And that includes learning how to apologize and come clean and just say, oh, wow, I don't want to fight about this. Like, I don't want to make you wrong and I don't want to make myself wrong. I want to say, I'm sorry I got triggered. This is how I feel. Can we have a dialogue about this? Now, if we do manage to not react and actually respond, it would look, several tools that were probably involved in that moment would look like this. Taking a deep breath before you speak. Another tool is to evaluate before you speak. Is this my ego speaking, or is this a true and authentic share from my heart, or a truth that needs to be shared in a loving way? Okay. Another thing to do is to pause and ask yourself, if I am triggered, what is the root of this wounding that I'm being triggered by? Where does it go back to? Does it go back to my childhood? Does it go back to something that happened as a teenager? Does it go back to maybe the loss of a loved one, or, you know, a failed marriage? Like, where is this trigger come? Like, what is the source? Not that you have to analyze all of it. Just ask yourself, what is the source of this trigger? Do I want to be right, or do I want to be happy? That question has come from my teachers. I did not make that question up. That question has saved me in so many moments where I could be right, or I could choose to be happy. And let's unpack that for a moment. That means, do I want to fight over something, or do I want to be open to a conversation where both myself and another person can come to a greater understanding about each other's perspective? Because that's where real happiness is. You can still hold your boundary without plowing someone over with a trigger or reaction. That is a response. An invitation to a dialogue is a response versus a reaction. And if someone is not capable of meeting you in the space of dialogue and response, if you have a self-love practice, that's okay. You're not going to want to arm wrestle them into that dialogue, because you're going to love yourself enough to know they're not ready for that dialogue. And so identifying when people are not ready for a sane and sovereign dialogue is another tool for responding to others, because sometimes no response is the best response of all. So if somebody keeps wanting to drag you into a codependent dynamic, you can say, this just doesn't work for me, and I need to step back and take some space. And when we're ready to have a more understanding dialogue, I'm going to be here for that dialogue. But right now, I need to take some space from this conversation. Removing yourself for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a day, or a week with clear communication that you will be back to complete that conversation, if it's a healthy dynamic, if it's healthy enough to have that, to come back, you know, that's another way to respond as well. There have been plenty of times in my life where, I mean, I might experience like literally a rush of anger flow through my body, but I don't want to speak from that space. So one of my greatest practices has been being able to say, I feel angry and I need to wait to have this conversation because I don't want to regret something that I would say from this space. I'm too hot-headed. I need to pull back. I need to think about this. Thank you for your understanding. These are some of the tools that I hope that have worked for me. And I share a lot more of these tools in the Soul Power Journey curriculum, which is an incredible curriculum on my website. And I just want to check in with the chat, see how all of this is landing. Oh, I'm so happy to see everyone's feedback. Yeah, Jade is writing in, I like to also ask my body, where is this trigger held in my body, and give that spot in my body love. Thank you for sharing that, Jade. Jade is one of our Sophia Circle leaders who offers Sophia Circle journeys through the Sophia Code. And you can find Jade and other Sophia Circle leaders on our directory on my website at kaiara.com. So great to hear from your wisdom, Jade, this morning. Cool. Marie Amber is writing in, I know who I am and I don't need anyone to validate my choice for my health travels and my life. Yes, I love that, that share. Thank you so much for sharing that. It really goes into that theme that we're talking about with, you know, when you have a self-love practice, when you understand that you are a sovereign being, this narrative worldwide doesn't even make sense because you understand that the source of your intuitive wisdom, the source of all of your healing and health, the source of your well-being and your prosperity consciousness, it all comes directly from your divinity and your communion with the source. And for anyone to dictate what is right for your own body, your own heart, your own mind, it like doesn't even compute. If you're a sovereign being, that narrative just doesn't even compute. And further, when there's people that are programmed to come in and try to bend your will to believe a certain thing, again, does not compute. And so it's important to understand that those people who are trying to, you know, through propaganda and fear tactics, trying to make other people wrong, that's a signal of how scared they are. That's a signal of how much they're hurting, and they don't have any idea about the sovereign divine power within them to create a new reality. And so this is where we really resource Kuan Yin and Mother Mary as our mentors for compassion and understanding, Mary Magdalene with those earth angel teachings in the Sophia Code of how to navigate the field and how to love ourselves and offer our, you know, our divine purpose and our service to those who are ready to receive it. You know, we're not here to create any wars. We're here to be of service to those who are ready, who are awakening to the truth of their sovereign divinity. And I'm going to share a lot about that in Austin for our sovereign spiritual leadership that's coming up in May. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here live with me this morning. This has been a really great Q&A. I've loved your dynamic feedback in the chat. I love the dialogue that's happening here in the Sophia Code community. Please feel free to also, if you're watching the replay, to share your questions and comments in the comment feed. Please remember to like this video and to subscribe to our channel. And feel free to share these videos in the Care Daily Transmission with your friends, families, and community. It's such an honor to be here with you Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Have a beautiful and blessed weekend. I love you all so much. Namaste.